everyone, welcome back to my channel. You are seeing me in my raw, natural state, but there is a reason for it. I didn't want to put any kind of makeup on so that I can show you my skin and all of that. It kind of ties into this video. So I mentioned a few videos back that I wanted to do some sort of postpartum getting back on track kind of video or series. So I guess this is like that. It's just going to be a regular vlog, but I am going to be showing what I am eating because I am switching over to a more anti-inflammatory diet. So for those of you that are new here, I am postpartum. I had my baby via C-section, which I know that on its own is a whole thing, and I can have a lot of like bloating and stuff like that just because of that. But I have dealt with chronic bloating for years, and I would like to say that I really started noticing it after my gallbladder was removed way back over a decade ago at this point, a decade ago. So I knew that I would have to change my eating after having my gallbladder removed. I heard about digestive enzymes. I heard about the ox bile pills and supplements and things like that to take. But did I do any of that? No. I did not. So now it's just to the point where I am just so sick and tired of it. And I think because I am postpartum and my body feels so foreign to me, it doesn't look the same. I feel like I still look like I'm pregnant. I think I'm just at that point where I'm like, okay, like I'm done. I really have to figure something out. So I went to good old ChatGPT to try to figure out what I can do. And that is how I ended up on this anti-inflammatory diet situation. I explained my history of, chronic bloating, not having my gallbladder, being freshly postpartum, having done C-section or a C-section. So yeah, I explained all of that. And I have done testing before, like extensive testing. I don't have celiac disease. I don't have SIBO. The only thing that they found was that it wasn't, thank goodness, it was not gastroparesis, but the food moves a lot slower through my system. So something like a little Ozempic is not going to work for me. Like I can't do that without really putting myself at risk, and I don't want to do that. So I have to find a natural way to heal my body. And if you can hear my my baby in the background, I'm sorry. Just having a good old time back there. But yeah, I need to find a natural way to heal my body and to get rid of this disgusting chronic bloating. It is to the point where I wake up, I don't even have a sip of water and I am already bloated. That is how bad it is. I think it all kind of boiled down to it possibly being a bile malabsorption because I don't have my gallbladder, and certain questions that were asked and triggers that I have. That is what we kind of boiled it down to. So I decided to get started on digestive enzymes, and the one that ChatGPT recommended is actually, I have it here. It's by a company called Thorne, and I know that it's a good company because I had to take iron supplements when I was pregnant, and my OBG was a fan of Thorne. So I know it's a good company. It's a reputable company, but it is their advanced digestive enzymes. I believe this has lipase in it and ox bile, so everything is all in one. I don't have to take a bunch of different supplements, so that is what I'm taking. Right now, I am doing 1 pill before every meal. It says you can take 1 to 2 pills before every meal, so I'm going to keep that up and just see if I see any actual difference. The biggest problem with me in general is not having consistency. So with like losing weight, working out, with the eating, as long as it's consistent, the majority of the time, then you will see results. The problem is I haven't been consistent. So that is what I'm trying to work on. And anyway, throughout all of my going back and forth with ChatGPT, I came across the anti-inflammatory diet, and it was highly suggested as something that I should try out to see if it kind of helps me. So that is what I'm going to do. And basically the anti-inflammatory diet is just cutting out refined sugars, seed oils. Some people can cut out gluten. How can I put it? The anti-inflammatory diet is very customizable because it's based off of what you are sensitive to, what you are intolerant to. So someone could tolerate maybe like sourdough bread just fine, and someone else, like any form of gluten just doesn't work for them. And some people can tolerate dairy and they choose to do milk from like grass-fed cows, while other people absolutely cannot do dairy. So it really is a plan that you can kind of custom tailor it to your specific body, your specific sensitivities and intolerances and all of that. So what I'm deciding to do for myself is to cut out as much refined sugar as possible. I have a massive sweet tooth and sugar has always been a problem, so I really want to try to handle that. So instead of doing refined sugars like white sugar, cane sugar, brown sugar, I'm going to stick to maple syrup, honey, and what was the other one? Date syrup. As far as gluten goes, I'm going to try and stay away from gluten as much as possible, with the exception of sourdough bread. I make sourdough bread on my own, which I need to take out my starter and feed it again, so I'll show you that process later. I did pick up some sourdough bread from Sprouts. I actually have groceries on my counter, so I'll show you what I got. I think I should be okay with sourdough bread, but if I happen to feel extra bloated after I eat it, then I will cut that out. I am trying out warm lemon water every single morning. Apparently that is supposed to be really good for your digestion. So yeah, cutting out coffee, cutting out refined sugars, keeping the gluten and all of that to a minimum, pretty much just sourdough things, no seed oils, no processed foods, or reduce it as much as I can. So no prepackaged pastries and things like that. Like, I want to try to reduce it as much as I can. So I do have a few things on here that are technically processed, but they are on the cleaner side and have been approved by like that Fig app. My idea is to prep a bunch of these different things individually, so that way when it comes time for a meal, I can just grab from whatever it is that I'm in the mood to eat and just put it all together. So my idea is to make roasted sweet potato, roasted butternut squash. I want to cook up some kale and mushrooms, quinoa, and lean ground beef. I do not like lean ground turkey. I can't stand it. I can't do turkey bacon, but I also don't really like chicken. Like, it's a problem. I know. And I really do have to compromise a little bit. But I really don't like ground turkey, so I am not doing that. Ground beef, though, I can definitely do, so I'm gonna stick to the lean ground beef. So I'm thinking of just prepping these things just to have, and then just make my meals as I go. And if I'm inspired to do something else, because I'm always on TikTok looking for different recipes, then I'll try that out as well. And the other thing that I do want to try is making sweet potato brownies with no refined sugar. I believe they use maple syrup. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna try out. Let me just flip the camera, show you what I got super quickly, and then I will get to prepping all of this stuff. Actually, I think I'm gonna make myself breakfast first. That'll be the first meal, so I'll come back and I'll show you what I make. But yeah, let me show you what I got from Sprouts super quick. So I picked up some kale and mushrooms. I also have some carrots. I want to try to do like that Asian carrot, like ribboned carrot salad. I got some garlic that I needed. These little mini cucumbers I've been trying to get for the longest time. They finally have it, so I got that. I got these crackers here. I also got some ginger. I have a few sweet potatoes. I got these chocolate chips, but they are made with or sweetened with dates, so no refined sugar, no dairy. I also got some cashews because I saw a recipe for a like creamy fettuccine type of thing, so they used that. I also got oat flour for just baking and things like that. I got some Dijon mustard. I picked up a few eggs. And then this here is another example of just like a little bit of convenience and not being extremely strict, but also just being really, really careful with what I'm getting. This is made with almond flour. The ingredients are pretty clean. So I got that. And then I also picked up some peeled garlic, but it looks like they come in like little individual like baggies. So anyway, I'm gonna put all of this away. I am gonna be chopping and roasting and all of that good stuff, but I'll show you everything that I have set as kind of like meal prep once I'm done with everything. And yeah, we'll see how this goes, which will also be interesting because it is December. I think today is December the 3rd, and later on, I don't know if today or tomorrow, I'm gonna be filming a little bit of like a mini series on Christmas cookies, because every year I do a Christmas cookie box for all of the adults, and I want to try something a little bit different this year, add different cookies, and I need to obviously test that out. So that'll be interesting because I'm not going to subject anyone else to eat the way that I'm eating. So all of the cookies will have regular butter, regular sugar. I might have like a taste of it just to make sure that it actually tastes good, and then my kids will eat the rest of it. So that is what I'm gonna try to do because your girl is really, really, really bloated and it just feels so gross. So let me drink my lemon water, let me make my little eggs, put all of this away, tend to my baby, and I will come back once I have some things prepped. So this is the first meal of the day, some sourdough eggs. I did find like an avocado mash that I had in my fridge, so I put a little bit of that. I have my digestive enzyme and my lemon water. And I also sprinkled a little smoked paprika on top. So that is meal number 1. So it is several hours later. I ended up cooking a bunch of food, meal prepping a bunch of stuff for the rest of the week, and I'm actually working on my dinner right now. I forgot to show you guys earlier, but I ordered this edamame fettuccine from The Only Bean. Looks like this. Not sure if that is gonna be good, but the only ingredient is edamame. But I want to make the sauce first, because if I don't like the sauce, then I'm not gonna like the pasta in general. So I'm hoping that the sauce I'm making is good. It's like a coconut base with nutritional, coconut milk with nutritional yeast, a little bit of salt, arrowroot powder to thicken it and all that. So lemon juice, I'm still kind of playing around with it because I don't necessarily love it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. But anyway, I ended up making roasted butternut squash, a bunch of cooked quinoa, sauteed kale and mushrooms, roasted sweet potato and garlic, and then I made a bunch of ground beef, and I used this seasoning from Siete, and I ripped off the top, but I wanted to keep it to show you guys. It's their spicy taco seasoning, and it has super clean ingredients. So even though I have all of this food here, it's not necessarily what I'm in the mood to eat today. So let's see if I can do something with this sauce, and I'll show you guys if it does come out good. If not, then I will be eating something from what I prepped. But I will show you guys a recipe that I found for sweet potato brownies. I am gonna try that out today, so I will share that with you guys in a second. Let me work on this sauce. Let's work on dinner first and then dessert after. This is her so far. She's looking a little watery, so I'm gonna add a little bit more arrowroot powder to thicken it, maybe some garlic, some more lemon juice, and then see if I can get it to taste like something that I would actually eat. A few other notes while I'm cooking. I mentioned not having any makeup on today so that I can show you guys like all of my acne scars and things like that, and that is because I've been having a ton of hormonal acne. I don't know if that's like a postpartum thing or if that's an inflammation thing. I don't know what it is, but I've been using Medicube for about not even a full week. So we're just gonna keep on using it and just see how that goes. But yeah, everything I feel like has just been not in my favor. I feel like my skin is not looking very good. I don't feel very good. I'm really hoping that changing my I'm really hoping that changing my eating helps a bit. So we shall see. But trying this out, I think it's the coconut milk like base that's kind of throwing me off a little bit. It's not bad. It's definitely watery. I need to add some more arrowroot powder. It's not bad, but we'll see. And I do have shrimp, so if it does work out, I'm gonna cook up some shrimp, put it in the sauce, toss the pasta, and then have that. So fingers crossed I can figure out how to make the sauce work. Okay, so that is definitely much better. Just tasting and tweaking it as you go. I added more salt, I added more paprika, garlic, things like that. So now it actually tastes pretty good and I'm satisfied with it. So I'm gonna cook up this box of edamame pasta, cook up some shrimp and olive oil, a little bit of salt, and mix it all together, and then that should be dinner. Let me get to boiling. I'm gonna put away all this food, boil this pasta, put everything together, have some dinner, and then work on making some dessert. So I'll come back when I make the sweet potato brownies, and fingers crossed that they come out good, because your girl has a sweet tooth, and I need like chocolatey something, you know what I mean? So we shall see. All right, dinner is done. So this is my dinner. Let me show you guys. I have it in a soup bowl. I know, it's okay. But I just have the pasta. I ended up throwing some of that kale and mushroom that I sauteed earlier. And on top of everything, I put some of the butternut squash just because it sounded good. Here are my thoughts on it. My husband tried the sauce, did not like it at all. I think you have to have like a funky palate and be open to trying weird things to kind of appreciate the taste of it. It's not bad. I think what throws it off a little bit is that it's a coconut milk base. If it was like a heavy cream, obviously like you can make it into a cream sauce, like the nutritional yeast like that and the lemon and all that, none of that is the issue. I think it's the coconut. But I did see another recipe where they had cashews and they blended it and then used that as the base and added nutritional yeast. So I'm definitely going to try that one with the chickpea pasta that I picked up. I will say this sauce, it didn't get as creamy as I wanted to, but I didn't want to keep adding arrowroot powder because it started clumping, which I probably should have done like a slurry, like if it's like a cornstarch slurry, and it had like little gummy like pieces in it, so I had to put it through a strainer so that it could be like a really smooth end product. Overall, it's not bad. I'm gonna enjoy it. I have a ton of leftovers, so I will also be eating that throughout the week. The actual pasta, like the edamame pasta, it's pretty good. It has a decent, like it has like a more chewy texture, but it really doesn't have much of a taste, so it tastes like whatever else you're eating it with, which I think is great. But yeah, I'm gonna sit down and enjoy my dinner. I have my digestive enzyme, and I think I'm only going to do maybe like 2 or 3 days just to, one, keep myself accountable during the first few days, which I think are the hardest days when you're starting anything new, but also to give you guys at least a few ideas of meals and what to do. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. I'll show you a little bit of my day tomorrow. I do have to run to Dollar Tree to finish picking up a few things for my girls' advent calendar. I think that video is gonna go up first. If you haven't seen that video, go watch that one. And yeah, I'll just take you guys along for a few days. So I'm gonna enjoy my dinner. I'm gonna start uploading these files and get started on editing, and I will come back when those brownies are done. So it is the next morning. This is what I decided to have. It's just a piece of sourdough bread, 2 eggs, some salt and pepper on it. I might throw a little ketchup on it. This one has pretty decent ingredients. It has a little bit of cane sugar. Let me see if I can show you, but not a lot. And I prefer the taste of this one. And then I also heated up a little butternut squash, some kale and mushrooms, and then obviously also take that with the Thorne Advanced Digestive Enzymes and some water. And I did already have some lemon water, warm lemon water that is supposed to heal the gut. So this is meal number 1 of the day. All right, guys, so I actually just filmed a little bit for the advent calendar vlog. I'm gonna head to Dollar Store, pick out the last 9 gifts that I need to fill for my daughter's advent calendar, but I do have a little piece of the sweet potato brownie. I will say I do want to make it again, and I want to tweak it a little bit. I think I want to add a little bit more cocoa. For the recipe, it called for 1 sweet potato, but I used 2, and I didn't really up the rest of the ingredients as much as I should have, I think. So I want to try it again, upping the chocolate, and I will say it is much better cold than it is fresh out the oven hot. So I would definitely wait for it to cool, put it in the fridge, and then have it. But it is very fudgy. I can still kind of taste the sweet potato like underlying, you know what I mean? But overall it's really good. So today I didn't film a lot, honestly. Like I was just like in such a blah mood. I'm like, I need to get out of the house. I'm gonna run to the dollar store to grab what I need to grab for the advent calendar for my girls, come back, walk my dogs and walk the baby with my husband just to get out. It's been beautiful in Florida and the weather has been really nice, so I need to get out and get some air and get some movement. But so far I haven't been super hungry today. I didn't even have lunch. I had what I showed you guys for breakfast, and then I had some sweet potato chips, and the ingredients of that are just sweet potato, avocado oil, and sea salt, and that's it. So I measured out a portion of that on my food scale, and I had that. Now I'm gonna have this little piece of brownie. I think it's good. I think it could be better, and I feel like I can make it better by just tweaking it a little bit. But when I tell you that those things were gone, they were gone. I told my family that these are like anti-inflammatory brownies that I've been trying out or whatever. I should have been a little bit more specific, and I should have said like maybe like save me like 2 or 3 pieces, you know, so I can have it throughout the week. They're gone. This is the last piece, and the only reason why I even have it is because I snagged it before anybody else did. So I guess they enjoyed it. I will say the chocolate chips, like the Just Date chocolate chips, the milk ones are really good. I like them. But anyway, let's get on the road. I need to get back so that we can do this walk before it gets dark. And yeah, we'll be back, guys. I have my baby napping in the room, but for a snack-ish lunch, I don't know, but I have some Greek yogurt, some strawberries, some pumpkin seeds, a drizzle of honey, and these chocolate chips that are made out of date sugar, so they're dairy free, refined sugar free. Did I show them to you? Yeah, I did show them to you guys. But yeah, this is my little snacky snack. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. Hopefully the lighting is not too bad because I have everything else off and it's just my kitchen light on. It's actually 10:55 p.m. Everyone in my house is asleep except for me, as per usual. So I wanted to do my closing night shift, cleaning out the kitchen super quickly, but I also wanted to feed my sourdough starter, and I figured I would mention that to you guys since I mentioned it earlier in the video, and then kind of give you guys my thoughts. I have been doing the anti-inflammatory diet for 6 days now, and I think I'm down 3 point something pounds, so that's really great. But I have some thoughts and I want to share them with you. But before I get into that, let me talk about my sourdough starter. I have named my sourdough starter pancita, which is like little bread in the feminine, but this is pancita, and I've had this sourdough starter for quite some time now. Actually, I got this off of Amazon, and it came with a little booklet that tells you how to start a sourdough starter, and I just followed that one, and it worked really well. It got very bubbly and very active very well. So I will link this down below. This is a perfect jar to do sourdough starter in. It is nice and big, and the opening is pretty wide for when I'm mixing and adding stuff in. But now I'm at the point where I have my sourdough, I just have to feed it, and it gets very active and bubbly. I do want to make myself a loaf or two of bread in the next few days coming up because I only have 2 slices left. I haven't been showing you guys what I've been eating every single day per se, because I've been eating a lot of the same things, and breakfast is pretty much exactly the same: sourdough, avocado, eggs, digestive enzyme. That's it. Point is what I'm trying to say is that I fed this yesterday and it rose pretty high and it went back down. It's time to feed it again. I normally feed it at nighttime. If it's struggling to kind of get really bubbly and active, I will feed it in the morning and then again at night. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is pour some of this out so that I only have 100 grams of this sourdough starter inside of my jar. And the way that I do that is I measured out or I weighed the container on its own, the glass jar on its own, and it's 423 grams. So as I'm pouring out, I put it back on my scale, and once it hits 523, then I know I have 100 grams of starter, and then I add 100 grams of water and 100 grams of flour, bread flour, could be all-purpose flour, doesn't matter. Mix it really good, scrape down the edges, put it on top of the fridge, let it be. And it does its own thing. So I'm gonna do that in a little bit. But like I said, I wanted to give very quickly a few notes because I don't want this video to be extremely long and I feel like it's already long. But I wanted to give a few notes on how it's been going. So overall, I feel like I do feel better. I definitely have more energy. I am still bloated. Not as like bad, because I mean my bloating would get so bad that it physically hurt and it felt like my stomach was so it hasn't been that bad, but I am still bloated. But it's also only like 5 or 6 days now, and I know that it takes a few weeks to really see the effects of it, so I will keep powering through. Food has honestly been fine, but I have been eating at home. I think eating out will be a little bit more of a challenge, so I don't know how I'm gonna work around that. Honestly, I don't know if there is a way to find restaurants that don't use like seed oils, or if it's like whenever I go out, I will is just with the understanding that I'm not going to be 100% clean, but like the rest of the day will be clean, just not when I go out to eat. I really don't know how I'm going to navigate that just yet, but I will have to figure it out because this weekend I am going to Orlando to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Super excited for that. And I don't know if I'm going to have to get food while I'm over there or if I can eat a meal in the morning and then just snacks power me through. I don't know. So I might vlog that experience as a whole as another one of my Vlogmas videos. So I guess we'll find out when I vlog. We'll see how that goes. To be honest, I'm not sure. But overall, I have really been enjoying it. It really hasn't been difficult because I have been eating at home. Breakfast has pretty much been the same. Like I said, avocado, sourdough, eggs. I did find nitrate-free, sugar-free bacon. So today, like I had 2 slices of bacon. I've been having a little bit of coffee. I think I've only had it once this week, but I have it well after I finish eating, and I use the Forager sweet and creamy like creamer and just coconut sugar to sweeten it, and that's actually been pretty good. I do want to get some half and half that I saw, like it's like grass-fed cows half and half, so I feel like that's the better option. So that I do have some yogurt that I still want to go through, like just plain Greek yogurt, which I really do like the tartness of it, so I want to finish eating that. So I don't think I'm going to cut out dairy completely, but I will see how I feel after I eat it. I think what I want to start doing is just logging in how I feel after my meals, like logging in, this was my breakfast, this is how I feel an hour or 2 hours after. This was my lunch, this is how I feel an hour or 2 hours after. Just to kind of have a little bit of a track record to see if I become really bloated and it's like that painful chronic bloating. Well, it's because I had this, a few hours ago, so it's probably because of that. You know what I mean? Other than that, some of the things that I've purchased that are more like convenience items that have been either a hit or a miss, I will share what the hits are. The Simple Mills almond flour chocolate chip cookies, and they also have like a double chocolate chip cookie. Those are fantastic. They taste delicious. They remind me of a cookie that my brother used to eat a ton of when I was younger. And they're these cookies that we would get from the bodega, and they were like chocolate chip cookies that would come in like a brown like packaging, and it was like a sleeve of them in like a brown plastic packaging. If I find it, I will put a picture up. But they're very like nostalgic kind of cookies for me, and these taste very similar. So that has been good. I did try the artichoke and jalapeno cashew dip from Sprouts with like Mary's Everything crackers. The crackers on its own, like my husband, he's like, don't really like it because it has a very strong sesame flavor. I like the crunch. I think they're good. But with the dip, it's very, very good. And one other thing that I wanted to mention, if you have a sweet tooth and you are trying this anti-inflammatory diet, I need you to check out Honey Mama. They're at Sprouts. They're like little individual like cookies, like they're like like $3, $4 per, so a little bit expensive. But I had like the chocolate one. I will put a picture of it up on the screen. When I tell you I would eat that even if I wasn't on an anti-inflammatory diet, it is so good and so creamy. It almost reminds me of like the chocolate truffles that come around like the holiday times at Trader Joe's, that they're like melting your mouth kind of chocolate. So freaking good. I wish I had some right now, but I don't. Probably a good thing. But yeah, the Honey Mama, absolutely delicious. The pecana milk, it was okay. I also tried the Just Ingredients bone broth protein. Yes, in lemon cream. Okay, no, not a fan. Like I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't hate it. And it wasn't the bone broth. It was like the monk fruit. I hate monk fruit sweetener and I should have known, but like that was just like a little bit much. Anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah, overall, it's been really good. Those are the things that I've really been enjoying. Oh, along with the Jackson's sweet potato chips, just sweet potato, avocado oil, and salt. Very good. Other than that, I have tried making empanadas, like ground beef, Spanish style empanadas, but the dough out of cassava flour. We actually had that today. And it's actually pretty good. The dough, I think it definitely takes a little bit getting used to, and it's not like an empanada that I'm used to, but it wasn't bad. Would I make it again? Like maybe, maybe. If I really wanted an empanada bad enough, I probably would. But yeah, I also tried the Asian carrot salad and I didn't get a chance to film it, but I will leave the recipe down below and maybe in another video, because this is just the first installment of a few videos that I kind of want to do to keep myself accountable and to share more recipes with you guys. But that Asian carrot salad, that slaps. It was so freaking good. So good. And I don't even like raw carrots like that, but that was absolutely fantastic. It's good as a lunch, good as a snack, very delicious. But yeah, so that has been pretty much my week of anti-inflammatory. Like I said, I'm down about like 3 point something pounds. I forgot what it was, but like 3 pounds, which is really great for my first week. Very happy with that. Hopefully I will continue to see progress with weight loss and with not feeling as bloated, my skin clearing up. So yeah, we will just see how this goes, guys. I am literally just trying this for the first time and just learning. So if any of you guys are on an anti-inflammatory diet or have any, good recipes, by all means, please leave them down below. I would love to hear from you. And yeah, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. You're a real one. Thank you so much. And give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here. And until the next video, which I'm a little nervous about, I actually have to film that one very soon. And it's going to be my Christmas cookies. But I really don't want to taste them. Like I really, really am trying to stick to just eating my anti-inflammatory stuff, and obviously that doesn't fall into it. So I might just make them and have my kids do a taste test. I do not like showing my children on camera and exposing them like that, so obviously I won't be showing them, but like their reaction, maybe like their hands eating it and like their voices saying if it's good or not. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Anyway, I am done for today. I am rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and until the next video.